Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to Going In Raw Countout, the only pro wrestling countdown show in podcast form that we can figure on.
That we know of.
Anybody else does that?
Yeah, we don't know if there's any more of those.
Very possible. Happy New Year to all the friendos out there. Happy New Year to you.
Likewise to you.
How did you spend your New Year's Eve?
In the company.
It real. Just keep it real. We have no idea.
Yeah, none.
Do you have plans for New Year's?
Zero.
Me neither. I have no idea.
I was going to say something vague like in the company of friends and family.
But you don't know that. You could be in jail. You have no idea. We're filming this well before the New Year.
Yeah, so we don't have to work
around
the New Year.
Take a freaking break. My goodness gracious. Anyway, speaking of, because it is the New Year, we figured we'd take a look at.
We look ahead to 2017 to some matchups.
Not ahead. We're in 2017 now.
Well, I mean, we have the whole rest of the year.
The first day of 2017.
Well, there's 364 days ahead of us.
That's a good point.
So still looking ahead.
Very good.
2017 matches that we want to see. Yeah. Now, these aren't necessarily dream matches.
Right. We're not
Although in some cases they are.
Yeah, we're not talking like Hogan Andre 3 or 4 or whatever.
No, these are matches.
Hogan Warrior 3.
These are matches that are plausible.
Yeah.
Which means they can happen.
Yeah, even in the WWE, like not talking about cross branding.
In one case, there is a cross brand thing, but
one case,
due to rumors that are popping up recently while we're shooting this, it might be possible.
Absolutely. I mean, anything's about if there is in fact a brand redraft happening in May. It's always any of these are possible.
Yeah. Well, as it exists now, any of these are possible, save for one.
Any of these are possible. Yeah. Anyways, number 10. Let's get to number 10.
Yes.
John Cena versus Undertaker.
Yeah, this is a rumored match for WrestleMania 33.
Yeah.
Possibly the Undertaker's final match.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the Rumble's right around the corner.
It is.
So we're going to have a better picture of how all that's going to come down, how all that's going to play out very shortly. You and I are both fans of Undertaker, Cena at WrestleMania. We think it's a big money match.
Yeah. I guess the only question is, I think we both feel pretty secure in thinking this will be John Cena's matchup at WrestleMania against The Undertaker. It's either this or him against AJ.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so rumor as of 2 weeks ago anyways was they were looking at Cena AJ for Mania.
But I also read recently that there are reports that Vince was asking creative to give him new ideas for Undertaker.
Oh, yeah.
At Mania.
Yeah.
That the plan is still Undertaker Cena. Undertaker Cena at WrestleMania.
All right, let's do it. I like it.
So pushing forward, assuming that's going to be the match.
Yeah.
We've had discussions previously about whether the belt should be on the line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're in favor necessarily, or you don't think it's necessary. Whereas I think it adds an extra little something to the match.
Well, I don't think the two outlooks are mutually exclusive. I think that, it definitely adds something to the match. It adds the world title to the match.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is now only being called the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
They formally did that on the WWE's website as of this filming. I wonder if that's Vince waking up. You think that because they've called it so many things, it has to be a matter of Vince.
It finally got to Vince that there's like 6 different names for this belt.
Yeah, exactly. I think I do agree with you. It would add something. It would add something special to it, even though I'll put it this way: if being in the fact that we're going to be in attendance at WrestleMania, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the title online in this match. If I'm Vince McMahon and I'm waking up and I'm like, okay, how do I spread the money around? I'm not going to put it in there because you got to have that in itself is a money match for whoever's fighting for the WWE Championship. That's a money match.
Well, let me ask you this then. Assuming AJ holds the belt to WrestleMania, assuming it's Cena versus Undertaker, who is there for AJ to wrestle at WrestleMania?
Well, then there's also the rumors that AJ might be going to Raw,
which we'll get to in a little bit,
maybe even earlier than the draft.
Well, that's going to leave a huge void on SmackDown in terms of the talent of the roster.
Well, there'd have to be a trade.
Yeah.
So wait, what was your question? If
it's Cena and the Undertaker and AJ is still champ, then who does AJ wrestle at WrestleMania?
Baron Corbin. No, wait, even better. Kalisto. Apollo Crew. The Miz. Dolph Ziggler. The Miz. Dolph Ziggler. Who?
I don't know. That's the quandary I'm in, because none of those are really good options for WrestleMania. Those are all decent options for, like the second tier pay-per-views.
Oh, Samoa Joe.
Yeah, that's the first good
Samoa
option.
Joe.
That's the first good option you presented. But we have Samoa Joe against somebody else later on the list.
Okay. So number 9.
9.
Ladder match for the Cruiserweight title at WrestleMania.
The last couple of years, they've had an Intercontinental title ladder match. But now the Intercontinental title's on SmackDown. I don't think there's not 6 mid-carders on SmackDown to contend for the Intercontinental title.
I like the idea of this because it could be a show stealer. This is, they're cruiserweights, so they'll just be flying all over the place.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Who do we want in this match? Cedric Alexander.
Rich
Swann.
I want him to win it.
Rich Swann.
The fact that Alicia Fox, the fact that she's kind of a heel, does that make him a heel?
No.
A heel can date a face?
Yeah, why not?
And that can work? Give me an example of that having worked in the past.
I don't know. Nothing's coming to mind.
Okay.
Cedric Alexander is a face, though.
Okay.
So Cedric, Rich Swann.
Rich Swann.
Noam Dar.
Noam Dar. Jack Gallagher.
That's 4. We need 2 more.
We need Dos Mas.
Brian Kendrick.
It's got to be Brian Kendrick. And it's got to be Lindsay Dorado.
Okay.
There you go.
That's good.
Or Daivari, because he's got a thing with Jack Gallagher. But who knows how long that's going to last.
Yeah.
So, those are all good. All good options.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Who do you want to win? Cedric Alexander, right?
Yeah.
I still feel like he can come out of the ladder match, or he can come out of the Cruiserweight division.
You can cross over to the main roster and be a huge star. I've been saying that ever since his match with Kota Ibushi.
Get him out of there.
He's going to be a huge star.
Huge star.
Huge. Future Universal Champion.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Huge star.
Huge star. Number 8.
8.
This is my favorite. I like this one.
Yeah, you like this one a lot.
Sanity versus the Wyatt family. I like this because you know what I think would be rad is if Sanity got into a feud with the Wyatts over sort of spiritual possession of Nikki Cross, a.k.a. Sister Abigail.
See, that's good.
There you go.
That's real good.
There's your story. Whatever low-level WWE writer is listening to this or watching this, that's where you go. Nikki Cross is Sister Abigail.
Yeah, that's good.
That's how you do it.
That'd be a great story.
And I think SmackDown could really use Sanity, like that infusion. Because number one, SmackDown needs bodies.
Yes.
So that infusion of talent, you get a tag team, you get a great singles competitor in Eric Young, and you get a top-notch female talent who can really mix up kind of the SmackDown women's division is starting to feel like a Total Divas division. It has that vibe to it. There's a lot of like sort of catty reasons for feuds. Carmella doesn't like Nikki Bella because you're a gold digger and John Cena's your boyfriend. I'm trying to think. Alexa Bliss just has like sort of that vibe to her. You know? Mm-hmm. What's Alexa Bliss's motivation for not liking Becky Lynch? She doesn't like Irish people. According to her own promo. She was saying potato farms. What the heck? I feel like I get the. Do you see what I'm saying in terms of like with the women on Raw? You get these big matches that are like, Sasha and Charlotte.
Well,
I think major feud.
I think that's the lone feud really of late that's really done that though, because this whole Alicia Fox Bailey thing that's been going on.
Not good. That's not good. But if you get Bailey into it with Nia Jax, nothing about that feels Total Divas.
Yeah, no, I know.
You get Carmella on this and Nikki Bella in their hardcore match, the no DQ match. It was like a Total Divas no DQ match.
Yeah.
And I honestly, that's a constructive criticism for me. That just goes to show I don't feel like they're lending enough weight to the SmackDown women's division.
There were a couple altercations between Nikki and Carmella that happened on SmackDown.
That
felt more intense and felt stiff in comparison to their no DQ match.
I know. I get this feeling like they're Look, I mean, here's the thing. Like, the Bellas sort of predated the women's revolution anyways. They were kind of like, if you remember the beginning of the women's revolution, when Paige brought in, or Stephanie McMahon, sort of at the behest of Paige, brought in Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, the Bellas kind of were the de facto, oh, you're the old guard. You're the old way of doing things. Yeah. And if you watch Total Bellas and Total Divas, they kind of have that. That's their vibe. That's their thing. It's the Total Divas is their thing.
Yeah.
And so the fact that Nikki Bella kind of anchors that SmackDown women's division, and Becky Lynch is a legit wrestler, and Alexa Bliss is really coming to her own, even though she's pretty green. It has the vibe. Was Naomi on Total Divas?
The very first season, yeah.
Okay, so she's a Total Divas vet.
Eva Marie, Total Divas.
Eva Marie is like the most Total Diva person there is. She was literally brought onto the show.
She was brought into basically the company.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Total Divas, yeah.
So SmackDown's women's division, that's the one that, we've sort of said that Raw's women's division, because it has Sasha and Charlotte and now Bayley, that's where sort of the serious wrestling goes down. And SmackDown's women's division has more depth just by nature of the fact they have more people, and they're all on a more even playing field. But that being said, there's 3 or 4 veterans from Total Divas in there, and that's why it has that vibe. It lacks the weight.
Yeah, and Nikki Cross, I think you're right. Well,
and Nikki Cross
some seriousness to that division.
It mixes that up. That was my long point.
Yeah,
happening there. Anyways, I think Sanity versus the Wyatts are really good. I think Eric Young and Bray Wyatt alone could, those two could have some really interesting promos back and forth.
Yep.
I'll never forget your critique, your first impression of Eric Young. I never knew he talked like that.
I didn't.
He talks like the leatheriest person.
I know. I didn't know his voice was that gravelly.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I had no idea that hoarse. Yeah. He's got a very hoarse, gravelly voice. Okay. I had no idea. Number 7. Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. Now, this goes back to something I mentioned during our roadblock predictions.
I want, before Samoa Joe comes out, or goes to Maine, I want like a tearful goodbye, like a tearful embrace. Regal, this will be the last time I see you here in NXT. Samoa Joe, you've come such a long way. You've come such a long way, Samoa Joe.
Turn to Michael Caine,
This is Michael Caine now. Samoa Joe. Will you?
Now you're starting to become a Gibb brother. You're turning into a BG.
Yeah. Samoa Joe, where are you going? You're going to you're going to WWE Main to debut in the Royal Rumble.
Pretty good.
Okay, that's it. That's good. If I can do the Gibbs, then I need a new career.
So this goes back to something I mentioned.
I love this. Yeah, this is a great idea.
A booking scenario, some fantasy booking I brought up during the Roadblock predictions episode, where Roman Reigns wins belt at Roadblock.
Yeah.
Roadblock hasn't happened yet as of us filming this. So.
Correct, yeah. So we'll see how that works out for you.
Yeah, so Roman Reigns wins the belt at Roadblock from Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Doesn't turn heel or anything, so he's unquestionably the top face on Raw.
Right.
Because he has the Universal title.
He has all the belts.
He has all the belts, basically.
Yeah. Then he takes on Charlotte.
And then he takes on...
Sasha. What's that?
Why are you playing pool?
I'm not playing pool.
It certainly looks like you're playing pool on your phone while we're trying to do a podcast.
Well, it is on my phone. I'm not actually playing pool. Go ahead.
Anyways, so... Roman Reigns has a belt.
Yeah.
Maybe he takes on...
Roman Reigns has belt.
Has belt.
Yeah.
Maybe he takes on Owens again at the Rumble. Or maybe he takes on Seth Rollins. Kind of a friendly rivalry match.
Okay.
Because Rollins can go, hey, I still feel like my path to Triple H is through the Universal title.
Yeah.
So he wants to take on Reigns. Reigns is like, okay, man, we're good.
Yeah.
We'll fight. Anyways.
He does this shit.
Yeah. And then who debuts as a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble?
Samoa Joe.
Exactly.
I'm so happy.
He comes out at like 15, wins the thing.
Yeah.
And says, I want Roman Reigns.
Crowd would be electric.
Yes.
Electric.
And for the next, 2.5 months or so, Samoa Joe is just destroying everybody.
Yeah.
Waiting to get a piece of Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
So Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe at WrestleMania.
I like it. I think that's good. Who goes
for
over?
the Universal title? I mean, I want Joe to go over.
Joe goes over.
Huge star.
Yeah.
Made.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
I've got so many things to say to you on my mind.
Number 6. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Chris Hero.
Now, this past weekend, There were Dave Meltzer, I believe.
Yeah, Wrestling Observer said that he has it confirmed. Chris Hero going to WWE now.
But Pro Wrestling Sheet said, according to their sources, he's going back to NXT.
Okay.
And he's going to use the name that he used originally in NXT.
Really? He's going to go by Cassius Ohno? Really?
Yeah, that's what Pro Wrestling Sheet said, yeah.
Oh, I kind of like that. I like the continuity there.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Oh, yeah, I am too.
Yeah.
So, thought, okay, Chris Hero.
Yeah.
Shinsuke seems like he's going to be in NXT for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Why not have a program between Chris Hero versus Shinsuke for the NXT title?
I like that a lot, man. Chris Hero had a career 2016. You know, he got dumped out of NXT. You know, it's always interesting watching those old episodes. It's really interesting watching those old episodes of NXT because you have like Corey Graves, the wrestler.
Yeah.
You've got, which was so weird to me that Corey Graves retired the same month that Kevin Owens had his first NXT match. Mm-hmm. It's weird because you think there'd be a longer gap there. But,
yeah.
I mean, obviously he was off for a long time because of the concussion stuff, and then he just had to retire. So that's interesting to me. But before all that, in NXT, Chris Hero, he made the transition from FCW to NXT, and he was Cassius Ohno there. And according to rumors, the reason why he was let go is because he couldn't maintain a fit-looking body.
Yeah.
And
but when he was let go,
the door seemed to be open.
Yeah, that's actually what Chris Hero said, is that the door was left open for future conversations about a possible return.
Right, exactly. And so he went out on the indie circuit and he hossed up. I mean, I had read one thing, and I think it was on a message board, so who knows if it's true. But I read that he had a back injury that led him to gain the weight. I have no idea if that's true. He seems very comfortable in his heavier weight. I also read somewhere that he wanted to hoss up, and you know, he had a killer year on the indie circuit.
Yeah.
Like, he was everywhere,
yeah,
putting on stellar matches. And you know, the WWE now is so different from back when he was in NXT in that you can do that. Mm-hmm. Now, as of this filming, we don't know. Like, once this goes live, you know, it might be he's back in the Performance Center as a coach. It could be he's back in NXT, or it could be he's going straight to main, or none of those could be true.
Yeah, I mean, shortly after Meltzer's report, Hero went to Twitter and left some kind of vague denial.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to get on there really quick. And
something about unprofessional journalism or something like that. Don't believe...
That's happened so often, though, that they want to... I can't help but to be disappointed by irresponsible journalism.
That's it.
That sounds like a guy who's going and doesn't want anybody to know, to me. But, anyways. So, yeah, all that being said, best case scenario, he does go to NXT, and we get to see him versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and that would be so much fun.
Yep.
I mean, the cool thing about Shinsuke remaining in NXT is the plethora of possible indie dream matches. I mean, we can get another match that could definitely be on here is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Roderick Strong.
Yes.
You know, we've seen, neither of us are really educated in Roderick Strong's matches.
Yeah.
But we got to see him live against Oni Lorcan.
And that was a stiff, fantastic match.
And that match led me to believe, holy crap, he can have an amazing match with Shinsuke Nakamura. That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Shinsuke versus Chris Hero, or Shinsuke versus Roderick Strong.
Yes.
Yeah, either one of those will work for me.
Be fantastic.
Number 5.
5.
The phenomenal AJ Styles versus Finn Balor.
See, here's the one match where,
hot.
As of now, it couldn't happen because they're on different brands.
Right.
Finn on Raw, AJ on SmackDown. But apparently there's been rumors going around that Vince wants to bring AJ over to Raw.
Number one, like the rest of us, Vince apparently, according to rumor, is a massive mark for AJ Styles. And that is awesome because so are we. And like you said, there's a rumor right now going around that AJ Styles is going to be brought to Raw, in which case this could totally happen. Keep AJ a heel, pair him up once again with the club, and have him fight. This is what everybody wants to see.
I know.
This is what everybody wants to see. AJ Styles, Bullet Club leader, Finn Balor, Bullet Club founder, going at it one-on-one.
Do you think they would reference their times in Japan?
Of course.
They kind of have to.
Of course they would have to.
It'd be a huge elephant in the room if they didn't.
They would. They would have to. This would be their standoff Could you imagine if they made AJ's arrival on Raw a surprise? And Finn's in the ring for his big return, and AJ comes back.
Here, let me ask you something. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Sure.
At SummerSlam, when they had their brief little skit backstage, I went to the bathroom, so I didn't see it. I didn't hear the crowd response. Was there a pop?
Yeah, there was a pop. It was like chills going down everybody. It wasn't like everybody. It was like it was the appropriate portion of fans who understood what was happening. Were like, oh, it was that. There were enough cheers to, people knew. That would be absolutely fantastic. I would just love to see them.
Have they wrestled before?
I don't think that it was. Okay. Were you a mark for Mystery Science Theater?
Yeah.
Remember how Mike Nelson showed up? The episode that Joel left?
Yeah.
Okay, and they never really interacted.
Yeah.
Right. It was like that.
Okay.
It was Finn Balor. I'm almost positive they didn't fight. I'm pretty sure Finn left right as AJ showed up.
That sounds right.
I want to say Jeff Jarrett joined Bullet Club sometime in the middle. There was some weird Jeff Jarrett shenanigans in the Bullet Club.
Why is it that
I know a bunch of people watching know the story better than I do.
Jeff Jarrett is like the transitional leader for a lot of groups, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
The NWO, the Bullet Club.
Why haven't we seen more of Cody Hall? Cody is that
Cody Hall?
Yeah, Cody Hall.
Scott Hall's kid, right?
Yeah, well, I
He
got
got
seen
hurt.
him in the. Oh, did he?
He got hurt, but that was a while ago. He broke his arm or something.
He was Bullet Club for a while.
Yeah, so I would think he'd be healthy by now.
I want to see Cody Rhodes and here's a kayfabe corner name for you. Who is now referred to? This will give you some inspiration for fun wrestling.
Okay.
Who is now referred to as Bone Soldier?
Is it a name I know?
Yeah.
Is this in New Japan?
Yes. Who was the most disappointing member of the Bullet Club?
Oh, Captain New Japan.
He's known as Bone Soldier now. He's a little bit more serious.
Oh, okay.
Still a big loser, though. He loses every match he's in.
Yeah.
And when Kenny Omega debuted Cody Rhodes, the video package, he called Bone Soldier an intergalactic disaster. So I'm saying Captain Fun Wrestling, you can make him Fun Soldier. Anyways, let's see here. Yeah, AJ, that would be amazing. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
And then, of course,
that's a huge money pay-per-view match.
Of course, just load up the Brink trucks to Kenny Omega's bank, bring him in, make it a triple
that'd be
threat.
Great
For WrestleMania 34.
Yeah. No, well, this is for 2017, so that takes place sometime this year. SummerSlam.
Kenny Omega. He brings his IWGP heavyweight title.
That he'll likely win from Okada.
Exactly. He will.
In 3 days from when this goes up, right? It's January 4th. That's Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of Wrestle Kingdom, number 4. 2017, we want to see Kenny Omega, who will be the New Japan Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, take on the current Ring of Honor Heavyweight Champion, Kyle O'Reilly, who I've become a big fan of recently.
Yeah.
Recently, I've been getting into Ring of Honor, slowly figuring out who is who. I
haven't seen Final Battle.
Yeah.
So I'm not that familiar with Kyle O'Reilly's work.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about him, Steve.
He's heavy on the MMA style.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that.
And so he's stiff. He works a style where you think, oh, there might be some halfway real stuff happening here. Charismatic fella, and I like him as Ring of Honor champion.
How is he on the promos?
He's good. He's no Kenny Omega or Adam Cole for that matter, but he's good. He comes across as sort of a real dude. Mm-hmm. That's sort of one of his appeals, that he seems more like a real guy, as opposed to somebody who's more flashy and has a lot of silly catchphrases and stuff. That's one thing I like. Adam Cole's gonna, not to go off on a tangent, but it's my Adam Cole segment right now. He's gonna have this. When I thought about, I was watching him in Ring of Honor, and he's gonna have to change so much about him. For example, his finisher is basically just landing a person on, like, from way up here, and just like dropping him on their shoulder onto his knee, and like their head is like inches from the ground. And then on top of that, like, one of his main catchphrases is simply "suck my dick."
Yeah, you can't say that in WWE.
I'm pretty sure you can't say that.
Yeah, 100% you can't say
that. But anyways, getting back to this, I want to see the Cleaner versus Kyle O'Reilly. I think that'd be great. And there's already stories. So Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are going to be facing off in their rematch for the Ring of Honor title at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes.
And so it's not a big leap to think that maybe we'll get to see the Ring of Honor heavyweight. I wonder if there's been...
I was about to ask you whether the IWGP champ has ever faced off against the Ring of Honor champ. Because how long have they had their working relationship?
2014.
So
there's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, but still 2 years isn't that long.
I know Jay Lethal had the title for like a year of that.
Yeah, most of that, yeah.
I think he had like...
But also they might be wary of pitting each promotion's champion against each other. I mean, obviously it couldn't be... The belts probably wouldn't be on the line.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean,
or if they would,
it would always have to be a dusty finish because you can tell
finish.
like 9 times out of 10 when there's a match in Ring of Honor and an IWGP belt is on the line, you know that's not changing hands in Ring of Honor and vice versa.
How about this?
G1 finals,
both
two what do they call them? Gaijins.
Both these guys have done some wrestling for Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Oh, there you go.
During a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla show. I don't know if I don't know if either of them can actually wrestle.
It's like I know this. It's like a Tokyo Dome level match.
Well, I mean, it's
going to happen in front of 1,500.
I was looking through some Kenny Omega matches the other day, and he wrestled Will Ospreay.
Yeah,
at a Pro Wrestling Guerrilla show.
I know.
In the last couple years.
Sometimes I think we hold these like
there's a
we
reason.
hold New Japan and Ring of Honor in a bit too high esteem. We're like, they'd never do that.
There's a reason that these Pro Wrestling Guerrilla shows sell out in like 10 seconds.
I know.
It's because they put on amazing cards.
Those great cards, I know.
So
exactly.
I don't know, based on the contract situations with Kenny Omega and Kyle O'Reilly, if they'd be even allowed to do matches in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla anymore. I don't know. I don't remember what year it was I saw the Omega Ospreay match.
Yeah.
But that's the venue they could do it, and they don't have to worry about any belts being on the line.
Well, I mean, I have no idea if this matters or not, but the Young Bucks, they wrestle PWG.
Oh, all the
time. They
time.
wrestled this year, and they're champions in both the other promotions.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Omega's like essentially quickly becoming the face of New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's fantastic.
I can't say enough good things about him.
I know. I'm really looking forward to the Okada match.
I know. Me too. It's gonna be great.
His 2 matches I saw from the G1 tournament last year, amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, just fantastic. Yeah.
The pace at which he works, the variety of his moveset. Yeah. It's very, I mean, I've said this before, he's very comparable to AJ Styles in that respect. And I think he's probably better on the mic than AJ is. Yeah. I would agree with that. I would. Because he is so confident in his own character, and his character is so well defined. Mm-hmm. It almost goes above heel face. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's funny because I saw when he was coming out at the World Tag League thing. He's coming out, and like one of the things, like Adam Cole, like he's Bullet Club, but he's heel, so he goes to two sweet somebody, and then he pulls it back. Kenny Omega, he like two sweets a pretty lady and then a kid, and he looks at the camera and says, "Why not? I love kids." And it's like, that's so above heel. That's just dope character. Yeah. That's so above, like, there's no set rules for this guy. Yeah. He's just a world-class badass. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And he can do heel things. I mean, obviously, he's a heel, and Okada's going to be the face, but there's so much complexity there. It's great. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. Number 3. Asuka versus Charlotte. Now, these two never crossed paths in NXT because Asuka showed up after Charlotte had already taken off. Correct. She mainly feuded with Bayley while in NXT. Yeah. And now she's cleaned out the division. Yeah, pretty much. The women's division. We're going to get a takeover here coming up relatively shortly in front of before the Rumble. Yeah, in San Antonio. But they haven't announced a match for Asuka. I'm guessing it's going to be Nikki Cross based on what happened on NXT a couple weeks back. I would think that we'll find out over the next... As this is being filmed, I know. We'll probably find out before this airs. Because you think it's either going to be Nikki Cross or Ember Moon. Yeah. I know Ember Moon's a face, and Asuka again is kind of above that whole thing. Yeah, she really is. It's very rare that you can do that. But Asuka versus Charlotte. Charlotte right now, for my money, is the best wrestler in the company. Or I'm sorry, is the best by far. Her and Sasha, best female wrestlers in the company, but she's probably top 5 in the entire company. She's the best heel on Raw. Oh yeah, for sure, easily. Yeah,
And so an Asuka Charlotte program where Charlotte and her sort of very confident queen persona is sort of put back on her heels with a very aggressive Asuka. This could be a fantastic match and a fantastic feud that leads up to it. I mean, you could see things like Charlotte being so freaked out she has to enlist the aid of Bayley, enlist the aid of Sasha, and I think, you know, if anybody is to give Asuka her first loss, it would be Charlotte, but not before Asuka like destroys Charlotte. Like, could you imagine if they do like a squash match thing?
I know.
That would be great. Like, now that you've broken that sort of ceiling of we're doing gimmick matches, we're letting them go hardcore. Like, let them do things like that Lesnar Goldberg finish where you get
where it just shocks the audience.
Shocking finish like that, or a shocking match where it's just a quick squash match. That'd be that. Now we're at the point where we can do that. You know what I mean? And it would make sense from a storyline perspective. So this would be really good.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting in terms of styles. They can match up fairly well. Both pretty athletic. Be good.
See Charlotte doing a moonsault on Asuka. That'd be great.
Fantastic.
Number 2. Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho.
Now, there's one more Raw. Am I correct? 2 more Raws. Is that right? Between now and when we shoot this and the end of the year.
Right.
One following Roadblock, and then the day after Christmas.
Right.
The 26th.
Right.
So there's a possibility these two could have a match, depending on what happens at Roadblock.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like this is building up. Assuming that Owens loses the belt at Roadblock to Reigns, maybe this is Owens' WrestleMania match against Jericho.
That could be. I mean,
at some point, Jericho's going to have to put Owens on the list. I kind of just wish this feud, when they do feud eventually, involved the Universal title, because for so long, Jericho, and to a slightly lesser extent Owens, referred to themselves collectively as the Universal Champion.
Yeah, I know.
And it would have made so much more sense for them to feud over the belt. Which
is
still a possibility.
I agree, but given where we're at and what we have to work with at this point, I feel like the Universal title, if we're talking about Mania, the Universal title can be used to sold money elsewhere, because I don't think it's necessary for these two.
Yeah.
Because their bromance, if you will, their relationship has taken on such a life of its own that the Universal title is kind of not unnecessary. Now, Chris Jericho winning the Universal title at WrestleMania would be a hell of a thing. But either way, I'd love. I really want.
Has
to see
he
this match.
ever won the world title at WrestleMania? I know did he lose to Triple H?
He lost to Triple H when they had to follow up Taker. One of the Taker matches.
The first Taker, Shawn Michaels won, right?
Yeah.
I think.
No,
it was before that, wasn't it?
It was way before that. They followed up.
Was it a HBK Angle?
Massive.
Wasn't it that one?
No. Time to go to the Wikipedia.
Yeah. That's probably what, WrestleMania 23? No, it wasn't that one. Was it 24? I know someone said on comments that they feel like we spend half our countouts looking on the internet for stuff.
That's just fine.
No, it's not that one.
Was it WrestleMania X8?
Was it? Was it that long ago?
Results. Oh, yeah. Because they had to follow up Rock Hogan. That's what it.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. So Jericho hasn't won a world title at WrestleMania.
Right. Well, not that we know of.
Yeah. Based on
if he has, it hasn't been in 20 years.
Based on 2 minutes of Googling.
I think that would be a fantastic. I mean, we can say career capper for him all day long, but he just keeps on coming back and coming back. He
keeps reinventing himself in these new and interesting and entertaining
I think,
ways.
of course, I mean that is kind of wishful thinking, because from what I understand, after his run just has kept on being extended past his original intentions. And so I think Mania is probably going to be if this Owens versus Jericho thing, if Owens still had the Universal title, he would probably retain in this match, even though the crowd would be fiery over Jericho.
No, I just literally, if I've been saying this for a while, when they eventually feud, if Owens still has a belt, have Jericho beat him. Next Raw, have Owens beat him for the belt, and then destroy him.
Yeah.
Write him off TV.
Yeah, there you go.
Several power bombs on the ring apron.
Yeah.
Write him off.
Yeah.
Piece of cake.
Yeah. No, I like that. In any event, like, this is a match that has to happen in 2017. I think it's obvious that it's going to.
Yes.
All right, number one. The match that we want to see most in 2017 is Brock Lesnar versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We've seen this in 2006, but this was a very different Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yes, it was in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing about Brock Lesnar is that ever since he beat the Undertaker streak, that has been sort of considered his title. It's Undertaker's streak. He's got that. And so whoever beats him, even though Bill Goldberg beat him at Survivor Series, that wasn't the kind of match where you're really looking at a successor to Brock Lesnar, who really beat Brock Lesnar in a match that goes long, that Brock Lesnar gives everything he has. It isn't just stunned by a spear and then eats a jackhammer and goes home. This is Brock Lesnar trying to beat somebody else senseless, and Shinsuke Nakamura is able to conquer the beast.
See, and I said this back after Survivor Series, that I felt that, in my mind, that had been more effective for Brock to lose in a match like that first before getting squashed by Goldberg. Because you have Brock, in a 25-minute hard-fought match against Shinsuke losing. And then his next match against Goldberg getting squashed. And, I've been saying for a long time, I think specifically with John Cena, we need that crisis of confidence story arc. And that's kind of what they're doing. That's what they're doing with Brock right now.
Yeah.
And I just kind of feel like if they had him take a loss, a hard-fought loss, followed by a squash match, then he has to completely reinvent himself. And I thought that way you could have given the rub, the Undertaker streak even, to someone on the main roster who could really use that boost.
Yeah,
but since Lesnar lost in a really hard fought match, he would still be, he'd still be the beast going into the Goldberg match.
Though, is that can you do a crisis of confidence / rebuilding storyline with a guy who shows up 3 times a year?
Well, they're going to try to. That's what they're doing with Brock right now, pretty much.
Well,
after that Heyman promo,
it's Heyman. Like, if my problem is this though, if Brock loses a hard fought match, then the shock of him losing a squash and the ability to reason why. Okay, well, Brock was taken off guard. He broke his ribs on a spear, and so that makes sense. For him to lose a hard-fought match and essentially give up the streak to Shinsuke Nakamura and then lose a squash match, well, at that point, all the luster of Brock Lesnar is gone, and he's not going to be around for a couple weeks at a time to rebuild his storyline. That's my thing about that.
I just kind of feel like the first person to beat Brock should have been someone that could really, a full-time talent that could really use that rub.
I know, but
I'm going back to him beating the Undertaker. I'm sure he was going to be the guy that beat the streak, and then Reigns beat him. Then Reigns was going to get that rub.
Yeah.
That was the plan, and it makes sense. I get that, and I still think whether it was Reigns or not, they should have followed through on that.
Yeah,
because it could have done someone a huge service being that guy that beat Brock.
My thing is this: I still think that I like it this way better because you get Brock with a fluke loss, and then he avenges that against Goldberg, which he's gonna do.
Yeah, I know.
And the streak is still kind of intact, so you can still do that. What you're talking about, it's still intact.
Yeah,
Goldberg doesn't have the streak now. Brock still has a streak.
I don't know. When you get beat in 90 seconds, that seems pretty decisive.
I know, but that's a fluke. That's not, I tried my best. That's, fuck, I stubbed my toe.
But no one's gonna think about it in that respect. They just see.
I think everybody thinks about it in that respect. I think they do.
No, when I saw it, I didn't see that as a fluke. I saw that as, wow, Lesnar just got dominated. 90 seconds, dominated.
I don't know. I think my thing is this. We could both be right in that maybe the jury, in terms of your average fan or how people perceive it, en masse, the jury's still out until Brock dominates, Bill Goldberg, and then it's like, okay, so that was a fluke, reestablished. Now he's back on track.
Maybe.
Yeah. But in any event, I do want the man who captures the Undertaker streak, the little ball of light that is the streak. I imagine it's a ball of light. I don't know.
I don't know what the
Which,
visual
like,
representation of
The
it is.
visual it's like a little ball of light, but depending on how you look at it, you see different angles, like different matches play out, like different scenes.
So it's like a crystal ball kind
like,
of.
oh, here's
But a luminous crystal
here's
ball.
Triple H at WrestleMania 17. Oh, there's Shawn Michaels at 26. Oh, there's Shawn Michaels at 25. Triple H 27. Oh,
King
what?
Kong Bundy at WrestleMania, what, 5 or 6?
Yeah, and there's Mark Henry. Wait, there's Albert and somebody named Nathan Jones. Oh man. So yeah, I really want Shinsuke to be that guy. Either one of two names: Shinsuke Nakamura takes the streak, or Oni Lorcan takes the streak from Brock.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine Oni Lorcan versus Brock Lesnar.
Well, I didn't know The Undertaker and King Kong Bundy wrestled at WrestleMania 11. I didn't think it was that late.
I would have figured, 5 was right.
Yeah.
Maybe the internet's wrong.
Could be.
Who was at 5 then? Didn't
Was he even wrestling at WrestleMania 5? That was 1990, so yeah. Oh, no, he debuted in 92.
No, that was, yeah. No, he debuted in 91.
Okay, well, either way, he wasn't around.
Survivor Series 91, I think. When did The Undertaker debut?
Again, us on
Undertaker
his
debut.
first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 7.
Oh, okay.
Defeated Jimmy Snuka.
Oh, no. That guy's got bad things going on in his life.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so Shinsuke Nakamura does it. All right, anyways, that's it now for Count Out. Be sure to let us know in the comments what you guys want to see in the year 2017.
Yeah.
Should shape up to be a good year. Let's start off right with a big fat 2017 Too Sweet. A Too Sweet to kiss goodbye to 2016.
Well, 2016's already gone.
I know. Say goodbye to it. It's in our rearview mirror. Say goodbye. It's going away. It's going away. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.